morning and welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that concern the state, void of politics, fear, or favor. A Tamale Circuit Court presided over by Francis has convicted Alhaji Abdullahi, a 53-year-old pharmaceutical distributor, fined him 680,000, equivalent to 14,000 penalty unit, on each charge expected to run concurrently. Alhaji Sayuti was convicted for unlawful possession of restricted drugs following an intelligence-led operation in Tamale. In default of payment, he will serve 25 years in prison. He pleaded guilty to the charges of possessing restricted drugs and the prohibited sale of restricted drugs. Sayuti was arrested during a crackdown on the illegal opioid trade in Tamale, where authorities discovered 447 boxes of tramadol and 11 boxes of tram-making, that is 120 milligrams of tramadol. So Monday's conviction relates specifically to 336 blisters of tramadol found on him around the Victory Cinema area. Prosecutors are preparing to put him before the Tamale High Court in connection with the larger seizure of 447 boxes of tramadol and 11 boxes of tree-making found in follow-up operation. So the arrest was the result of weeks of surveillance and intelligence gathering by law enforcement as part of a campaign to disrupt the illicit drug supply in Tamale and its surrounding areas. You see, this is what we want to see. We see someone involved in drugs like this, the person is arraigned before court, and then the person is judged. Whether you are guilty or not, if you are found guilty, you are going to serve your jail term. And as it stands now, he is going to serve 25 years. Because how can you have in your possession almost 4,444 boxes of tramadol? For what? And he is an old pharmaceutical, pharmacist. And you see, sometimes we ask ourselves a lot of questions when we see illicit drugs being imported into the country. And we find it so difficult to get the people behind that. And most of the times, it is this pharmacist, because they know very well when it has to do with drugs. That is their job. That is where they've specialized in. So they know everything, anything that is that concerns drugs. They know it very well. And sometimes most of these people that import the drugs illegally into the country have connections with these pharmacists. 4,444 boxes of tramadol. I can't remember when tramadol came, the way people were abusing these drugs. I remember when a young teenager gave a 1-year-old baby tramadol so she can go out and then do her night works. She came back and the baby is dead. How can you give a young child 1 year tramadol? And we see the more reason why we see this happen often is because we don't deal with the issue from the root. We end up cutting the top and then we leave the roots just the way it is, which is very bad. If you want to deal with an issue, you deal with it right from the root. This is a pharmacist. Only God knows the number of people who have messed up their life through this. But sometimes you go to the hospital. I can't remember, I won't mention this pharmacy name. I went to a pharmacy to buy a drug and the pharmacist was like, oh, I had any boarding, but then I also sell mine personally. It is cheap. And I'll be selling it to you. And then in a conversation and everything, I realized that no. this person is actually working illegally. He's working in a pharmacy, all right. The pharmacy is accredited. But behind doors, he's doing his stuffs. And that is why they end up collapsing a lot of pharmacy shops. And it is sad because the abuse of drugs of late in the country has become so rampant, especially among the youth. As a youth of late, we feel that to overcome frustration, to overcome anxiety, we have to take in drug. To overcome depression, to stand in front of people and tell them their mind, we have to take in drugs. Because when I take in the drug, I don't care who you are. I don't care your position. I don't care where you're from. I tell you my mind as it is, and then I feel comfortable. And then they do that not with their in their consciousness. They take these drugs, and because the drug is working on them, so they tend to do anything at all. I think it's about time we have to move from pharmacy to pharmacy. If we are supposed to spy on them. Most of these pharmacies are not accredited. 50% of them, they are not accredited. And most of them import these drugs illegally. Because I know that pharmacies do not sell. I've never gone to a pharmacy where they sell cigarettes before. I don't know whether they sell it, but I've not seen any before. You go to a pharmacy where they sell cigarettes. You go to a pharmacy where they sell cocaine. They might sell it, but they do it backdoors, and they know their customers. They know the people they sell it to. And they do that backdoors. And every day we kept complaining. Today, they've impounded on a full truck of cocaine. Today, they've pounded on 3 packs of illicit drugs like tramadol, the red and stuff. And then we don't know who is behind it. And sometimes this is what they do. Immediately, they bring the drugs straight to the pharmacy shops, and then they distribute it to them. And they have their customers. They will sell it to you backdoor. They're not going to sell it to you where someone is going to suspect and be like, so this is what you do here, because definitely I'm also going to spread the news. And you don't want your business to collapse. Now he is going to serve 25 years in jail. And I think there should be a caution to people doing it out there. This man should actually serve as an example to people who do that out there. They don't sell this tramadol as it is. It has its own use. You don't abuse tramadol. In cases where you are experiencing something very severe, that is when the tramadol comes in. Even with that, unless it's a doctor's prescription, you don't take it. But no, we tend to abuse the drugs anyhow. And most of these pharmacies, trust me, I don't really know where they've acquired their knowledge. But sometimes you go to the hospital and these doctors will advise you. And that is where we get it wrong. When we are sick, we don't want to go to the hospital because we feel like the bill is too much. So we want to go to the pharmacy. And sometimes most of these pharmacists, they don't really do the right thing. And then they end up messing your life. Sometimes you can take a drug and you feel like, which kind of drug is this? Your whole mood changes. And you begin to act weird. You don't even know what it takes. And sometimes you have to take a screenshot of it and you send, and then the person will be like, what is this? What did you just take into your system? And you yourself, you're confused. You went into a pharmacy to buy a drug. And then you are being given something different altogether. And there are people behind this. I wouldn't say they are ghosts. No, we don't have ghosts importing drugs into this country. How can they be ghosts? They are human beings, of course. They are human beings. We have borders. And the security personnel guarding those borders are also human beings. They are not ghosts. They are not spirits. They are humans. And they are being given a token, and then these drugs is being imported into the country. And then you see people messing up their life. When you hear them speak, you can actually tell that this person is a drug addict. We can only stop this if the root is being uprooted. We can only stop this if the people behind this are arrested and they are jailed. That is the only solution out. If not, then we will keep deceiving ourselves, and then we won't get to where we have to get to when it has to do with curbing drug usage and the illegal way of importing drugs into this country. Thank you for making time with me on Debbie's Grill.